For sure. Metals and non-metals, these questions will definitely come in your board examination of class 10th. So before explaining, I will just give you main topics that will come for the examinations. Let's start metals and non-metals. First is learn exceptions of physical properties. Exceptions of physical properties. Next is properties of metal. Properties of metal means chemical properties of metal, like reaction of metal with acid, reaction of metal with uh, different type, reaction of metal with base, like after that metal oxides with acid and base, acid and base. Next is amphoteric oxides. These oxides which reacts with both acid and base to form salt and water are known as amphoteric oxides. Next is metallurgy. Metallurgy means extraction of metal in a profitable manner. Extraction of metal. Okay. So let's start in the today's we will learn about exceptions and amphoteric oxides. In session 2 we will do these two topics. Let's start. First, let us see exceptions. In metal, first we have lustrous. What is lustrous? Shiny. The shiny property of a metal is known as lustrous. What is the exceptions now? The exceptions are sodium, potassium. These are not lustrous. Okay. And in non-metal, most of the non-metals are non-lustrous. But glass, which is a non-metal, but still has a lustrous property. Lustrous property. Next is malleability. Malleability is a property where metals can be beaten into thin sheets. Now, what are its exceptions? And these exceptions are mercury, right, which cannot be beaten into thin sheets. Whereas in non-metal, most of them are non-malleable, but in that graphite can be beaten into this. What? Okay. Next is ductility, where most of the metals can be converted into wires, thin wires. What are your exceptions like mercury? Mercury is in liquid state, so it is impossible for that to be converted into thin sheets. Whereas in non-metal, most of them are not ductile, but still sulfur can be conducted into uh, wire. And also like most of the metals, in this it is not given, most of the metals are hard except again mercury, whereas non-metals are not hard, not hard non-metals. But still, diamond is a non-metal, but it is the hardest non-metal. This one. And next is most of the metals have high melting and boiling point, whereas exception is mercury. Already it is in liquid state, so how can it have a melting point? So it is an exception for this. Whereas most of the metals are solid in nature. Solid in nature. Again, it has a exception because mercury is liquid in state. Next, most of the metals are hard, but see, sodium, potassium can be cutted with knife. and not explaining it fully because it is a short series where we will be telling about the important questions that will come for the examination. Amphoteric oxides, the oxides that reacts with both acid and base to form salt and water to form salt and water is known as amphoteric oxides. For example, zinc oxides and aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide we name it as Al2O3, and let us see the reaction. First is zinc oxide with acid. It is an acid. Zinc oxide with acid. What will it form? ZnCl2, zinc chloride, and water. This is the common reaction known as neutralization reaction. Next is reaction of metal oxide, that is zinc oxide with base. This is base, sodium hydroxide. Then what it forms? It forms sodium zincate. Its name, it should be remembered, sodium zincate. Trick to remember this is Na to Zan A to Natu Zanatu and water. This much is enough for today's. Let's thank you.